This last section is to do with all the technology we used during the music video project.
Which there was quite a lot, as it is a digital media course.
We start off by the ones that we knew all along. We used blogging software which we used for projects last year and for other things, and it's actually helped us as well personally, because I know that Paul has his own personal blog and I've tried with it, so it's also, not only has it helped us with the media course, but it's helped in general as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously being introduced to it last year, it's not the hardest thing to get around, and it's quite a simple form of displaying what you've done. I mean, if we kept a written diary, there'd be a lot of crossing out, a lot of paper which could get lost.
And as you can see by the scans we've done, our handwriting's not the best.
No, so it's easier to read, it's presented better, and then obviously we can upload things from YouTube, from pictures of anything, and you can see the whole progression from our ideas to the final piece.
And also the fact that companies like Blogger and YouTube are all part of the same big company, they're linked with Google, I think also helps with the cross-media part of it, because it's so easy to put videos onto YouTube and then to put those videos onto Blogger. It's really easy, isn't it, which helps?
Yeah, and with YouTube, for the animatic, we used their annotation facility, which I'm not sure whether Bryn knew it existed. I didn't know it existed, and we thought it was quite, again, easy, simple to use, but very effective in the way we could put some rectangle boxes when we needed to point out where we're going to be standing and where everything's going to be filmed, and we thought it helped to show our thought process in the animatic, because if we were going to draw it, we knew it wouldn't work, so we thought we'd take pictures which would hopefully explain it better, and with the annotations we thought we'd definitely get our ideas across.
It's quite a unique way of doing it, and we thought it was quite helpful actually, and also we were able to get, by doing it in photos and adding the annotations, we were able to get so much more detail in there than just what would be basic drawing from us, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to get kind of concepts of depth or angles or maybe types of shot, so it's just better for us in order to work off, to get to the video, and also for the lecturer and for the examiners to just be able to see what we wanted to do and then be able to compare it to what we did do.
Yeah, it was also good for both of us, because for the cameraman it also gave ideas of how you can actually film it properly, and for the actor it also gave us an idea of where you would need to be for different shots, how it would work, and again also to see how different it ended up, which wasn't that different in some parts, was it?
No, and then also with obviously using a location, we'd be able to know from there our boundaries of what we can film, what we could do and what we couldn't do, instead of trying to write it down all on paper and then finding out later on in the location that actually we can do that, so we didn't have to change it too much from where the location was.
We started to use a lot of other technology with computers, computer software for the first time on this. For instance, we used the photo sharing site Flickr. I used that to get photos of the location because it was near where I lived. So on one weekend I decided I'd take photos of that area, put them onto Flickr, set up a photo stream, I think they're called, and put that onto the blog. That was very simple to use, except the only problem was really trying to set up an account with them, because you need to create your own Yahoo email address and things like that for something I only wanted to use once. That was the only problem, I thought, but the actual program, putting them onto there, was really good, I thought.
There was a slight trouble getting it onto the blog, but we had technicians to help us out with that, and then when it came down to presenting our ideas, as it has been for this course, it decided that it wasn't going to show up.
Yeah, we decided to use one of the programs linked with it called Flickr Slider, I think it is. So, whenever we opened it up, because I wasn't signed into my Flickr account, on the blog it would say photos do not seem to be available at the moment, which just was so frustrating, wasn't it?
Yeah. Before we even got down to making it, we obviously how to find a song and a singer. We're not great with social networking sites, and we had a look at MySpace, but couldn't really get around it. So we kind of thought, well, we've got some songs in the backlog we could try and do. So we used a video recorder on my laptop with a simple microphone to record the singing, and then uploaded it to Soundtrack Pro, which we would have used from last year with our films, to add a soundtrack which went with the song. The only problem we had with that was getting the tune at the same sort of speed as the song, which meant I had to change the song and make it slower. But that wasn't too difficult.
It was able to get us to find out what we were going to do a lot quicker as well. Like we said, we tried MySpace, it didn't work. I know some of the other groups have used contacts on Facebook. Neither of us are on there, so that was a no-no from the start.
Oh, yeah.
So it was the only way we could really work. But I think it was a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I think the way we could do it, and it wasn't hopefully terribly bad. Yeah, we hope it went well. And then we could adapt a decent video to it using Final Cut Pro, which turned out to have more techniques that we realised that could really help us.
A lot of the editing techniques we used for the first time. So for instance, we used cross dissolve more than we did last year, and the split screen was also a new feature for us.
Yeah, using the crop tool on the video images, put the two video images on top of each other. And
it was also good when we had like spare 5 minutes to try and work out, to have a look and see different techniques, see if they would work, and then pick the best one, which helped us.
Yeah, I mean, before we chose the split screen via the crop, we tried a green screen attempt, and unfortunately, what we wanted out of the green screen, we couldn't do. So, although we tried it and we had a look at it, it didn't work, and that's what led us to the cropping of the split
Upon
screen.
reflection, actually, doing that, the scene we wanted to do in the real location was a lot easier, to be honest.
Yeah.
All you had.
We could obviously stand in front of just a mirror in a living room, which isn't too difficult to do. We didn't have to faff about by getting the green screen ready, set up against a board with no shadows, and it was with no, just everything seemed better.
It was a bit of a shame though with the green screens. We set it up, tried to get it ready, it all took about half an hour to find out it didn't work. So
yeah, but
when we tried it, we saw whether it was viable or not, but it wasn't.
Yeah, so for some groups it worked well, for us it just wasn't the case, but that was fine.
Some of the technology we used with the camera was new as well. For instance, this was the first time that I used a dolly for one of the shots, where I was trying to get a panning shot of the actor. It was a bit of an experience. Well, first of all, it didn't quite go right in the way that I tried to move it, thought I'd fix the camera fell off, I had to catch it like this, and that was a close shave, that was for sure. Trying to move it on a surface you thought was smooth, when it actually wasn't, was also a bit of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we had trouble with rolling over a few stones out there.
Leaves were another problem.
We kicked it a few times, which obviously caused the shaking, but we got there in the end. I mean, the day we did it, it was freezing cold, and I'm in just a shirt, and we wanted to get over with quickly, but it was a bit of a nightmare, but it worked well, and it was a great way to start a music video, so we're glad we persevered and did it.
Like I said in the previous section about with one of the shots, it took about 10 takes. With the shot with the dolly, I think it took about 8 eventually.
Yeah, it was
but it did work, which was good.